Alright, I got this clip all said and done with me being the hallway and my opponent being the Taporia. And this guy was pretty aggressive heading into this fight. Of course, it's ranked and it's a Taporia. It's all very, very not new. They're all the same. Unless you fight a smart player or somebody who knows what they're actually doing. But clearly, this guy didn't, because I absolutely slimed him. Alright, I'm gonna break this one down. So, in that exchange, I had gotten to boxing range quite irresponsibly. I exchanged with, the crack Taporia, which wasn't a good idea. And that's what those kind of players want, and that kind of exchange. They kind of want you to also be mindless and not really utilize your brain power or IQ. So I had got caught up in that, and of course I was near the cage, so I was not standing up, or that probably would have been the end of me for sure, especially with my head health being low. You never want to get up with low head health, even when the opponent taunts or anything. You want to avoid that with no head health, especially against power punchers. That's one of the more responsible uses of the 50-50 clinch, especially if you're fighting a very aggressive opponent. It's to alleviate pressure. That's what I like to do, is get them on the cage so they are the ones that are going backward for a little, just to, break space from being kissing range of, that close. dropped again because I was throwing an elbow. Right there, I threw an elbow and got caught with a rear hook. And he popped Flow State on the cage, and I'm pretty sure that Flow State, I believe it does more damage while pressuring on the cage. Could be wrong. Very scary moment where I got dropped. My head health was so low. Very lucky that I didn't get starched right there. Made another mistake by not lunging on the side he threw, but I didn't want to end up on the cage still. So that was a mistake while I was on the cage. That was a missed opportunity to throw something to the body, considering his health to the body is quite low. Not low, but it is low for the first round. But, alleviating the pressure once more. Very important part is understanding your footwork. I made this guy miss a lot of strikes, but he kind of whooped my ass that round. I had a way better punch stat than him, just on numbers. He threw a lot of those big hooks, those big meaty hooks. So that is very important to know, is that you have to control your distance.
You good? Ready? Let's go!
I got caught again by throwing a lead uppercut as he threw a rear. I believe. Let me go back. Yes, it was a rear uppercut. Got caught again. I wasn't that in danger. He had no flow state, but it was on the cage, which is still scary to have that thought. And the stamina's very important to note. Right there. That's where you're supposed to lunge, is when you know your opponent's gonna throw the other way and they already do. Then you lunge when it lands on your block. But since it was a straight punch, I got lucky and didn't get caught right there. finishing sequence of that was just me spamming hooks, but that was very easy to do because his body was so cooked. I'd been working it all fight long. The body rocks changed his blocking patterns for sure, but my head health was the same as his, so I didn't have nothing to worry about. And a firefight right there. Right there, the two punch combinations, the hook, then the body hook. I threw a lot of that fight, or a few times, so I had conditioned him to immediately block low after a hook to the head, that's how you're supposed to set up your strikes in this game. You go to the head, then the body, and then when it's in a moment like this, where they are getting beat up quite a bit in a fight ending exchange like that, you wanna keep it, keep them guessing for something like this. Then he ducked to keep away from the body punches I probably would have thrown. Or he had that tick at the end of the round where he ducked as soon as I tried a body punch, so he was probably expecting body punches right there. Then, once again, conditioned him to the lead body kick, lead head kick, dropped him. He was trying to circle out, dropped him again with the hook barrage, put him down for the finish. Poor guy didn't stand a chance. He did 10-8 me, but that's alright. It's not about how you start, it's about how you finish. And I did finish him quite easily as it went on. Look at how many punches he missed compared to me, or landed on the block / miss. I landed almost 100 out of 160, which is a lot better than 58 of 132. And especially on the power punches as well, I did way better on that. Very important as well, especially when you're the type of player building into fights instead of going inside of a exchange firefight battle. Very important to recognize. Completely controlled that round, didn't give him a single moment except for that rear hook he landed when I threw that lead uppercut. Yeah, I think that pretty much settles that. Or this is the end of this. Quite a change up, from the faceless monster classical posts. But I think this is very important to recognize in players, where some of them are very aggressive early, and as the fight goes on, you make a miss, you work the body, then you get that finish. Especially in 5-round fights, it's very important to do that. But you also will run into very patient players as well, which is a double-edged sword of who's gonna gas out first, to be honest. Because I fought very patient players before, That's how they fight. But it's all about, like, are you willing to take some damage into those later rounds, or are you just gonna go firefight in a fight like that, where you just get into an exchange battle where you're just risking getting colded by a much better fighter, like this guy. Like, he already had his mind set on a firefight. And of course, I didn't reap too many rewards from that win, but it just goes to show that it's very important to use your brain in this game. But some people have been so good at not using it that their whole style is revolved around mindless pressure or not calculated pressure, or they just play the best fighter. Of course, just pick the best fighter. Don't hurt yourself by playing a 4-star. Just pick the best fighter. Remember that. All right. That's the end of that.